when they happen, we're like, wow, maybe we're going to see a big spike in bookings for our band or a big spike in something. And it's crazy. It just doesn't seem to lead to things like you think it would. When something becomes too commercial, how do you hold that line between... There's something pure around the arts that sometimes it feels a bit funny to mix this idea of selling your passion. This kind of the curse of being creative. Exactly, it's like you just want to keep making new things and trying them, playing with it. Humans just have too much content now, maybe, or are too distractible. Our easiest thing is like create. Just dance, just make music, just make courses, make things, you know, because we want to make. But our hardest thing is like, okay, we've made all this stuff now. How do we sell it?
Hello and welcome to the Art of Selling Online Courses. We're here to share winning strategies and secret hacks from top performers in the online course industry. My name is John Ainsworth and today's guest is David Duffy. Now, David is an Irish composer, a bassist and a multidisciplinary artist who, together with his wife, internationally recognised dance artist Ksenia, co-founded Jazzville Productions, the artistic umbrella behind their touring shows, albums and festival commissions. But the reason David's joining us today is what they've built online. Secrets of Solo is the biggest online school and it's welcomed over 5,000 students with consistent 5-star reviews from the community. Ksenia rose to global attention through her signature 20s Charleston choreography on So You Think You Can Dance. She's racked up over 200 million views online, toured more than 35 countries, taught at over 250 international swing and jazz festivals over the past decade. David is running the branding, marketing, musicianship side of the school, so we're talking to him today about this. David, welcome to the show.
Thanks, John. Pleasure to be on. I've listened to the show many times, so it's great to actually be a guest and hopefully share something useful with people.
So talk us through this. Like, who is it that you help with your courses? What's the target audience?
It's as you said, it's quite a niche thing. It's this authentic jazz dance that Ksenia has been doing for years, which is Charleston swing, and that's a huge world in of itself. There's this Lindy Hop kind of world that's spreading everywhere globally. And so then there's pockets within that kind of broader jazz dance community, which will be solo jazz, which is what Ksenia teaches. And then you have Lindy Hop, shag, blues, all of these various other styles that all come from this culture, which is rooted in African American culture and kind of coming from that space. And yeah, Ksenia has kind of been doing that for many years. Before I met her, she was already very established, but she didn't have an online school, and that's how we came together. And so the school is helping people who are really deep in that area and deep in that field to become much better. But also over the years, we found that, especially during the COVID period where people were at home, that there was a lot of people who just wanted to learn a dance style. They didn't know which dance style. And this really appealed to them, and they'd never heard of it before. They never knew it existed before, but through whatever videos we're doing or whatever advertising we're doing, they found the course. And so it's kind of gone very broad. We've had people from all age ranges, and we're really just, I think Ksenia's main thing and the school's main thing now is to just energize anyone that wants to get moving, anyone that kind of wants to move their body and connect with the joy of dancing to music. And then that just opens up this huge window of people who love jazz music, you know. And I think many people listen to jazz and hear jazz or whatever. Then there's like more simple versions of that, be it Frank Sinatra or something like that, or Michael Bublé, or like really pop versions of that you feel like that's swing. And I didn't know I could dance to that. And you can dance to that. And as I said, there's these many, many styles. And I'm not a specialist, so if I'm saying anything that anyone's listening... yeah. No, I understand it deeply from working with Ksenia over the years, but I'm not some authority on all of these styles. I just know that this is one that Ksenia was in. Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because this is interesting, right? Because your background wasn't, as I understand it, like marketing and business and what have you. Your background's in music, but you've kind of taken over you're the operator behind the school, right? So like, how did that come about?
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be fair to say I'm the full operator, but there's myself and Ksenia who really operate the business together, and then we have a web developer, Andrew, who also kind of came in quite early on, and he's been growing with us in this space, and we've been learning this space together, because the website's about 8 or 9 years old now, so it's been a while. For me, it was it was a combination of things. I think I've heard guests of yours speak about this book, but about 9 years ago I was reading the 4 Hour Work Week.
Yes.
The Tim Ferriss book.
That's the starting point for a lot of people, yeah.
For a lot of people, yeah, absolutely. And I've heard it on so many podcasts. And I was reading that and I was like, okay, passive income, yada, yada, and kind of got in. And I was just thinking about that whole kind of concept of what could be working while we're not working. Because at the time I was very much like playing music 5-6 nights a week. And that was my life, and still is to some extent. But you only earn when you're on stage. You only earn when you're actually physically present. And so that has its own cap and limitation to how often you can play and how often you can be out. And then, anyway, I met Ksenia, and Ksenia is my wife, so we started dating and we were together, and then I saw all of this success she was having online. At the same time, I discovered like Scott's bass lessons or something like that had been advertised at me as well, which is another big online space for learning bass. And just those things kind of clicked. I just said, why are you not teaching this online? Why don't we connect all of these people who are on YouTube, all these people who are watching you on the web, and give them somewhere to go, give them somewhere to learn this? Because she was already teaching internationally as well. Like, she was already a very successful international dance teacher as well. So it was kind of an easy, obvious thing to do, like now saying it. But at the time, not that many people were doing it. There was 1 or 2 other schools in that space. And I think, to be honest, again, someone else could correct me, but like there was a school called Rhythm Juice, which was Dax and Sarah, who are 2 American friends of ours, and they were kind of the first to be really on this wave. They were kind of 2 or 3 years ahead of everyone else. And around that period as well, we were in LA and we met them and we were talking to them about it as well. So I can't remember the exact way that all fitted together, but that was it. Yeah. And we moved to Barcelona for lifestyle reasons, but also for other reasons that myself and Ksenia, when we got married, we needed to move to Europe. And so I lost a lot of my income from playing music, and I just kind of threw myself at this. I was like, okay, here's something that's already kind of working on a small way, but like, let's take this more seriously. You know, this is has huge opportunity and huge growth.
So do you still play like? Do you still play at like festivals and gigs and what have you a lot, or is it you mostly focused on this now?
Oh yeah, I mean, still playing all the time. I don't think.
Great.
Yeah. We're in my music studio now.
For anybody listening, there's 3 different instruments. I can see a bass, but then I don't know the other 2 basses. They're kind of behind the plant there.
Yeah, basses and all.
One looks like a U bass or something. What is that on the left? No, the other side. Yeah,
this one.
Yeah.
That's a Hofner, like a Paul McCartney kind of signature, that kind of style. He was famous for playing this. It's called a violin bass. It's like a hollow body thing. It has a very specific sound. So yeah, we still do that, and I mean, we still consider ourselves and our artists, and we do this to remain artists, because I mean, to sustain a nice lifestyle as an artist is a very challenging thing for any artist, even mid-tier, high-tier artists. To earn well is very challenging, and to have a nice lifestyle from that is challenging. But to be honest, we take a lot of the income we get from this and we just reinvest it into like making albums, making shows, touring. Like, really everything we make there just goes back into making something else. That's kind of always been our attitude, you know.
I think a lot of people listening all relate to that, because there's so many people who, like, the kind of person who we're talking to on this podcast is almost always a creator first. They were passionate about a thing, whether it is, you know, piano or bass or Charleston or, you know, teaching a language or knitting or whatever. That's their first thing, and then the money is just like, okay, I kind of had to learn how to do that part to make this all work. But it's like you were talking before about like the being a creator first, like you got all the YouTube channel, and you like, okay, well now let's teach this and try and make something work from it. But like, the passion is in the music, the passion's in the dance, rather than like the business is like a means to an end kind of thing.
100%. And always has been and still is, you know. And I mean, that's our big challenge, to be honest. Running this business is that our easiest thing to do is top of funnel. Our easiest thing is like create, just dance, just make music, just make courses, make things, you know, because we want to make. But our hardest thing is like, okay, we've made all this stuff now. How do we sell it? And And there's a tension there, like even to some extent. That's why Ksenia wouldn't love being on a podcast like this, because she doesn't like that kind of business aspect of the thing so much. You know, it's not that she hates it or something, but there's always a friction as an artist. I think that happens with maybe it's an Irish thing or a Europe. I feel Americans have it less in a very general kind of way of saying it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
There's less uncomfort between this idea of money and what you do to make that money. But there's something pure around the arts that sometimes it feels a bit funny to mix this idea of selling your passion, and there's a bit of friction there sometimes, maybe. Yeah. I don't know if other people experience that, but that's something we experience.
I think nearly everyone.
When something becomes too commercial, how do you hold that line between?
I mean, the stuff you're talking about is things I hear from people all the time. It's like that the analytic side of things is something they don't want to focus on. That the money side of things is like, I didn't get into this for the money, but I do want to make more money, but it's not the main thing that I'm interested in. And it's like, it's kind of why I started the business, right? It's like to help people like yourself who are like, right, you're great at creating content, you're great at creating courses, people love the courses, but there's this bit in between, which is how do you get the people who watch the videos to buy the courses? Like that transition, right? And how do you do it? Not only how do you get them to buy it, but like how do you do it in a way that feels comfortable to you, that feels comfortable to your audience, that doesn't feel aggressive and salesy, and like that is doable, but it's not necessarily intuitive. So it's like that's kind of the reason why I got started, why I started the podcast as well. Talk to me about the videos that you got, because you said you've got I kind of quoted a number at the beginning, I think of like 200 million views. The YouTube audience is like 71,000 subscribers, I think. So that sounds like you've had Ksenia's had some really viral videos, because that's a big discrepancy between those numbers, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that. I think that number is like something that, and I think it's way underestimating. It could be honestly in the billions of people that have seen Ksenia dance on the internet. Wow. Let's kind of put it that way. So there's a video, you might have even seen it, you know, that was her in some jam circle in Paris. She's wearing this like black and white stripy shirt, and she's just doing like a signature kind of Charleston move. Later on, we kind of understand that like part of the dynamic was there's a bit of competitiveness there, and there's people kind of moving around this circle, and so I don't know, people kind of in the comment sections clung on to the fact that she kind of gets pushed out of the center, so it fed some human kind of part of people that like, there's a great dancer but she's kind of being pushed aside, and then and so this kind of comment section goes on. But there's a lot of great dancers in that video, but that video, for whatever reason, got repurposed, and like over the 7 or 8 years, I can't tell you how many times Ksenia has been sent, hey, here's you dancing to some random Russian track, random Chinese track, random whatever. No, like, I mean,
wow,
hundreds of times. And these videos have 10 million views, like insane amount of views. And she's often like really embarrassed because some like nonsense music they've attached to the video. But at the start of that kind of era of people like downloading a clip and repurposing it and then re-uploading it, that happened with that clip many times, to the point then, anyway, the guy who filmed the clip, he had it viral on his YouTube channel. It had like 15 million views. And then Ksenia eventually was like, okay, can I have that clip? And she got it. She reposted it on our channel, and it's now like 14 million views on our YouTube channel. And same when we posted on Instagram. So there's something weird about that clip that like whenever we seem to post it, it seems to get a lot of traction. That was just that one clip. But then there's been, honestly, I think since I've known Ksenia, it's happened like 12 or 15 times with different clips, like genuinely that they've kind of gone into the hundreds of thousands or millions of views across various platforms. So there's something that she does in her dance, there's something that she communicates on video or on camera that obviously just attracts people. That's obviously, you know, very watchable. And only recently we had another one on our Instagram, and I think that now has 18 million views or something, and it's me playing bass. Actually, it's us with our jazz quartet, and she's singing, and she's in a section where she's dancing, and she just made a reel on Instagram, and again it went super viral. Like within 2 days we could see, okay, this thing is just taking off, it's just exploding, you know, and it's still going. that video. So
what have
yeah,
you found
that's
about the kind of connection between those viral videos and what's actually making you money? Are those ones the ones that are getting tens of millions of views? Are they making you money, or are they like just more, I don't know, out in the mainstream and it's not kind of connected?
Yeah, disappointingly so, it seems not connected. Because when they happen, we're like, wow, maybe we're going to see either a big spike in income or a big spike in bookings for our band, or a big spike in something, you know. And it's crazy. It just doesn't seem to lead to things like you think it would. I'm sure it leads to something. Now, I'm sure if 10 million people watch a video, 5 users come from that, like 5 members sign up from that. I'm sure. Like, it's not like 0. But the numbers must be tiny, given even when we have those videos and underneath we have a link, like, you know, like a video on YouTube that's 16 million views, and underneath we have, if you want to learn this dance style, go to the school or go into our funnel. And yeah, it doesn't lead to what we think it will lead to. So that's been a really curious learning for us, because I think many people in the online space think the key to cracking this thing is TikTok or Instagram or viral videos, or if I get some sort of massive video, then that's going to lead me to have a load of course sales, or that's going to lead me to have a load of income. And that's not been our experience at all, you know. Now, we are weak on the analytics. We're super weak on the analytics. So I can't factually tell you that this video led to X, Y, and Z. I don't know what they led to. We just kind of see it all as this kind of big moving ecosystem, and somehow it will all come together, and somehow it is all coming together, that if we just keep making great content and keep putting stuff we believe in out in the world, that it will come back in some good way to us. Yeah.
Do you have any sense of which videos, what kind of videos have converted really well? I know you haven't got the strong analytics, but have you seen, like, okay, when we've got this one, it's got lower views, but we know that we get customers from it?
Yeah, I think we certainly... Again, this is only in the last few years where Ksenia really started using like ManyChat and things like that, where we actually started consciously saying, okay, let's do an educational video with a very specific question that's answered, and underneath then a very specific funnel sequence. So that's only kind of in the last 2 years we're really like consciously saying, okay, let's make a video that deals with this problem, and then the funnel also tries to deal with that problem, so that there's actually a sequence. There's a bit of a method to the madness, and those seem to be working better now. And they don't need to have huge numbers. They don't need to have, if 100 people respond to the ManyChat, then we can see that from those 100, 60 enter the email thing. And now we have it a little bit more set up that we can see 60 people got that email, and whatever of those dropped off. And I can't give you exact numbers. I could if I opened up the website, but yeah, there's now a funnel in place that we can kind of see how many people are getting through it, as it were.
Well, that sounds like you're further ahead with the analytics than you're giving yourself credit for, man. That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Recently, that's only recently we're there. And then, I mean, I think still what holds us back is just interest and desire then to engage with that.
Yeah. I get
weekly
it.
Or daily. Yeah. Like, and actually, and then maybe not like... maybe not understand it, but understand what to do with it as well. Like, you know, like 100 people entered and now 60 people dropped off. Okay, so is that the ManyChat word was wrong, or that the text we sent out in the ManyChat was wrong, or that the email is wrong, or the first email is wrong, or, like how to improve that.
Is it all right if I kind of give you like an overview of this won't answer any of those exact questions, but like an overview of how to think about analytics with course funnels?
Absolutely, yeah.
So the basic approach is you want to track every step that is on the critical path. So by critical path, I mean, it's like a project management term. It means basically anything that is directly between somebody starting and somebody buying from you. So that's going to be, okay, did you get, it's like the in-course world, it's going to be like either on YouTube, did you get their email address from them signing up for a lead magnet, or on Instagram, it's probably going to be them filling in something on ManyChat, right? Okay, and then what's the next step in that process? What's the clear path all the way through? And then you track for each of those stages, what's the percentage conversion rate? at each step, which you've got some of that data, right?
Yes.
You're telling me already you've got some of that. So then the next step you need to know is, well, what's a good benchmark? Because if you don't know what a benchmark is for each step, then you don't know whether you're doing well or badly. Now, if you've got, let's say with YouTube, let's say you're pointing people through from YouTube to a landing page where you're asking for their email address, and you've got a 30% opt-in rate. Without any data about whether that's good or bad, you could be like, okay, well, that sounds good. I've heard 30% for opt-in for landing pages before. That's cool, right? But actually, when traffic is coming from YouTube to a landing page, then a decent conversion rate for that is 70%. So you kind of need to have that point of reference. In order to be able to decide, is this something that is doing badly or is it doing well? Once you know what step is doing the worst, that's what you're looking for. Against benchmark, which one is furthest from benchmark, which one is doing the worst, then that's the step to work on improving. So as long as it is on that critical path, if you can double that conversion rate, then you double the outcome at the end. Now, if something is let's say a good benchmark for one step in the process is 25% and you're at 22%, it's going to be really hard to make that much of an improvement. It's not that you can't improve it. You quite possibly can get it to 30 if you work and you work and you work at it. But it'll be difficult because you've already probably done a lot of things right to have got to 22%. However, if that conversion rate is 25 and you're currently at 5, it'll be super easy to make it better. Almost anything you do would probably make it better. And if you just look at, right, here's the 5 best practices for this step in the process, then you can see, okay, we're just going to implement that, and probably that step is going to improve massively. Now, there's one other thing that's actually easier for most people than improving something that's doing badly, and that is putting in place a step that they don't have at all. Now, lots of people are missing steps within that funnel. So for that, you need to know, well, what are the ideal steps the whole way through this? Like, so for example, on YouTube, you should always go from YouTube to a lead magnet rather than from YouTube to a sales page, because research has shown us through lots and lots of testing that converts better overall. You will long term make more money if you get someone onto the email list, as long as you're also sending out email promotions and what have you. For you guys, your sales page, you kind of got your home page set up as your sales page for Secrets of Solo. It's actually really good. I was going through and doing an analysis of it, and there's 13 elements that you kind of need to have on a sales page. People might have heard me say 15 before. We've slightly tweaked the way that we structure this, so there's sub-elements now. But there's these 13 elements, and I went through and analysed your sales page against like a good quality one. And you've got, I think, like 11 out of the 13 in place, and 11, I think 10 are green, and only one's like an amber, and then there's a couple that are missing, right? So you've got a really good starting point there. So that's not worth working on because that's already got a lot of the best practice stuff in place. But your YouTube channel doesn't always link to lead magnets. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So that's the way that you use analytics, is to look at, okay, put into a spreadsheet, what's your numbers at each step? What's the conversion rates? Find out the benchmarks, compare your numbers to the benchmarks, and then look at which step is doing the worst. That's the overall concept. Now, you need to know then within that, well, what are the benchmarks? And then you need to know what is the best practice? This step that I've identified that's not doing as well, what is the best practice at that stage? Like you were talking about the details there, right? Is it our first email? Is it the fact that we haven't got enough people opting in? Like, where exactly is it? And then, okay, well, how do you do that better? But I think it's really helpful to start with a kind of conceptual idea. If anyone listening wants to know more about this, I'm going to find you some podcast episodes that we've done before about it, but also we've got a training course that's normally paid for customers, but anyone listening can get access to that for free if you just drop me an email and ask nicely. So it's John, John, at datadrivenmarketing.co, and just ask me for the KPI course, and I'll send it through to you. But I'm going to find some... Here you go. Episode 77, how to use KPIs to scale your course with YoSip, is a really good one about that as well. Does that make sense, kind of the whole structure of how I explain it?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, as I said, it's only recently we've kind of started to implement that, but we haven't got someone on the analytics side. But it makes perfect sense, like where people are dropping off. I think my one question, but maybe it's not relevant, is So a video of Ksenia dancing, like it's just, let's say it's entertainment, like, and I think it's worth putting those up as well. So that gets, let's say, 10 million views, but it's not selling anything. It's just dancing. So maybe we shouldn't analyze that type of video for its conversion rate. We just see that as kind of like audience capture, and that's what it is.
Yeah, the way that I look at those is you still have the lead magnet with each of these videos, but you look at, well, how many opt-ins was I getting from that video? And what you'll find is obviously the conversion percentage will be way, way lower when it's an entertainment video versus an educational video. But if the views are high enough, then that might be okay, because you might still get a whole bunch of opt-ins. Now, of course, the ideal is what you then do is analyze, okay, for all of these entertainment videos, how many of those people eventually bought? Because that's the crucial thing. But like, I kind of want to do this, simpler steps at a time. And what you will see is that you'll get much, much lower opt-in rates on those videos, like much lower, right, compared to a really strong educational video. And then you can decide off the back of that, okay, is this worth doing because it isn't really bringing in much in the way of opt-ins, even though it's getting the high number of views.
Is this just, this is 101 stuff now, is this just using like Bitly or something like that? Like, how are you saying this video, got the opt-in?
You could do it using Bitly. Yeah. One of the things actually I wanted to tell you about, this is a really minor detail. This is very practical, but I'd noticed some of your Bitly links, there's like a 2-step process at the moment. If someone clicks the link, they go to a Bitly page first, and then they go to the actual URL. So you're going to get a big drop off at that stage.
Yes, okay.
I don't know why that's happening. I'm not sure if Bitly's messing you around or what.
Might be. Like, again, this is some of the housekeeping stuff, and it's great to talk to you today. Because honestly, we just get so focused on we're touring a show next year, so at the moment we're in that, and we just forget about the school for a while. We're just like, okay, we can't give it so much energy right now, and we don't go into what do we do 3 years ago with those links. Those links are just still living, so it's good to go through and check. I haven't checked what Bitly's doing, and I'm not even sure if Bitly is what's the current standard. Like, what would you use yourself?
I mean, we sometimes do it with UTMs. We'll sometimes do it we've got some that are set up with Bitly. I'd want to check actually with the OSIP what's the most up to date, because I've not been involved in like the setting up all the analytics on any of the tracking for videos in a while. I'll check with the OSIP what it is, and we'll get the details over to you about that.
That'd be helpful.
So what is your, actually talk us through, let's go back a step, talk us through for your offer. You've got the membership, right? What's the pricing on the membership?
It's 40 monthly and 360 annual.
Okay.
And that's all we do. And lately we've just now recently started doing small, like, kind of paid funnel at the end, like where you get a 1 hour class for €12.
Okay. That's just like ads direct into that, or how's that work?
Yeah, we just saw that as like just for people who wanted a very low cost entry into getting a class with Ksenia, getting a full class with Ksenia, that has a very fixed outcome, that's less general, like come in and that's still something we're all the time kind of dancing around, is we have this massive library now, and that's led maybe to not a super clear like path of entry, path of exit. So when I listen to, like, you found me through whatever Jacques Piano in 21 days. Yeah. And to be honest, we were super jealous of that when we heard about that, because it's like he doesn't have a ton of content. He doesn't have a massive library, and we spent all this energy making this. It's just a very clear, you can't do this, and after 21 days you can do this. Boom. Like, it doesn't even, whatever he promises is the very clear in and out. And our system is like, well, we don't know. Come in and hopefully you enjoy it in here, and hopefully you stay. Like that's a bit of it, and we very much see that to keep people engaged, it's way better if we have this thing starts at this date and it ends at this date, and here's what you're going to learn and here's what you need to do. That seems to hold a lot more traction than come in and here's a massive library, look around. People, the humans just have too much content now, maybe are too distractible. So anyway, we kind of introduced that now in the last year or two, where we're, as a way of getting people in, we just say, here's a fixed length choreography, learn it, film it, put it up, and then maybe we'll do some sort of a competition where we pick one of those videos to get a free membership. So it's kind of a path that we're trying.
Have you tried as well as the membership, selling the courses from inside of the membership separately?
No.
Apart from
No,
that
no,
one,
no.
I mean, no. Okay.
No, they're just like little, as I said, choreographies. They're just like a one hour learn a choreo. We started with that actually. Like the very, very first thing we did 8-9 years ago was buy the course. Like you own the course, and we still have legacy members that we said forever you'll own these courses. But yeah, we changed the membership thing. So we haven't done that, no. Like where you close off a part of the library, you say, come in, you have access to this much of the library, but if you want to add other bits of the library, you buy them internally.
No, I kind of mean like, so nearly everybody, when they do a membership, they think that it's either membership or sell the courses. And it's the better answer is to do both, in my experience. So Scott, you mentioned Scott's bass lessons earlier. Scott does this, right? So you can buy the membership. I forget. I've been a member of his of Scott's bass lessons before.
It's $199, or something for the year.
$29 a month or $19 a month, something cheap, right? He will sell those courses individually as well. Some of them. So the reason is the way that the marketing works best for an online course business is to have at least one promotion every month with a time-limited discount on it. Mm-hmm. But with a membership, you can only do that at most every 3 months. Otherwise, people are like, oh, it's on discount again this month and this month and this month. This doesn't really work, right? So every 3 or 4 months, you can kind of do that with a membership, and that works great. But in between that, you need to have something else to sell to the email list. Otherwise, you're kind of missing out on that opportunity. Like the majority of potential revenue in an online course business is in the email list. 80% probably, rather than direct sales.
Yes.
So if you take something that you've got and then sell that individually in between, there will be a bunch of people who didn't want to sign up to a membership, but they do want that particular course. And the benefit of that is that, like you're saying, like when someone joins the membership, it's like, well, which of these things do they go and join? And I found that Scott's a friend of mine, and I was at dinner with him one time, and I was like, well, where do I've done the beginner course within your membership. What do I do next? He's like, that is a good problem. That's a good point. We have a problem with that, So he's kind of got that issue as well, right? It's like, well, what order did you do it in? And he's been working on that recently. Like, how do you make that more?
He has this player's path thing, which is like you come in and you analyze your level, and then he suggests, content.
But the huge advantage with courses is they've kind of got a structure already. If someone's like, oh, that's the course that I want to sign up to, then that's the thing that is quite kind of easy for them to know. This is what I signed up to. This is what I'm going to take from beginning to end of that. And so that's one way. It's not the only way, but it's one way of being able to, when you've got a membership, have a promotion going on every month. There's other things that are possible as well. Like you can do a webinar that then the back of the webinar leads into promoting the annual membership deal. And that's like another promotion you can have that also leads to a bunch of sales that come in. So it's like there's different ways. But that's one really simple way. And that's something we do quite often with people. If they've got a membership, it's just like, okay, we're going to take out one of the courses this month and just sell that as an individual thing. But it's still in the membership. I'm not talking about members don't get access to that. I'm just saying it's a different way to kind of structure the offer.
I think our fear with that, the reason we didn't do it was, we have like a flagship course, you could say. Well, we think if you look at the numbers, we look at some numbers, obviously. There's like Solo Jazz 101, which is like, you're new, come in, learn your first steps. Yeah. Most people come in and complete that course first. Like that's what people do, Okay. And so anyway, we felt at some point, okay, if we sell that might take someone a year to get through, depending on how driven or active they are, or more, or they might not finish it. And I think that was our biggest fear with selling the courses, is they might come in, they might take 6 classes, go, oof, this is difficult, bye-bye, and I'm not going to buy anything else again from you because I already bought something that I own forever. And if I want to do some dancing, I can come back to that course now that I own forever. So why would I become a member? That's kind of a bit of maybe a negative limiting belief. The courses are incredibly valuable, incredibly well structured, but it's not an easy thing. And I think that was one of our challenges, was maybe opposed to something like Piano in 21 Days. As a musician, like what's been taught in that course is very fundamental, that someone can get it. Like that's the beauty of it as well. It's like, yes, you can learn this thing. Like any human could probably learn this if they applied themselves. But dancing to jazz music, much like playing jazz music, not so easy. So when you come in, like it's a complicated style. It's a complicated music. It's a very sophisticated music. It's like I don't know if there's an online course for learning violin or classical piano or something, but it will be challenging because there's a point where it gets hard quite quickly, and then humans by their very nature go, oh, this is a bit hard, bye. That was part of our reasoning. Is we don't see many people completing the full courses, and we're having more success now with a class a week format that Ksenia is doing at the moment called Spotlight, which is really working for us, which is a nice idea she came up with, which was, well, we have this library, people don't know what to do with it, and it doesn't really, people seem more engaged if I just have a WhatsApp group and I'm like, hey, here's this week's class. Take this one. Just here you go. Here's your class on a Sunday night. Here's your class. Take it this week. And then on Friday we'll all submit our videos and have a chat about what was good, what was bad. And then Sunday I'll give you another class. And that it's kind of that kind of system seems to be having a lot of success for us because people are like, I'll give another example. My mother pays for Sam Harris, this meditation app. I can't remember what it's called. Waking Up, and he releases a daily meditation, and that's all she does. Like the app has thousands of hours of blah, blah, blah. She just like pays her annual subscription so she can come on, daily meditation, press play, okay, 10 minutes done, close, boom. And it's a very clean like daily thing, and I believe in that as well. I'm starting to believe that that's in this world of absolute overload of content and information and things like that people like a daily achievable task. And they feel good. They get their dopamine hit, and they go on, and then they want to come back the next day because they did it. They didn't fail; they succeeded.
Do you know what your average retention is in the membership? How long people stick around for?
Yeah, that's something we're working with. Like honestly, 2-3 months for a lot of new users. Like there's people that we've had some members for 10 years. Like we've had people who literally have stayed forever. So it's quite low on the monthly thing, but we find that people treat it a bit like a la carte. Like they come in, do 2 months, they leave. Maybe they'll come back again, do 2 months, they leave. They come in and out when they have time, I guess, or when they're engaged. And maybe like summer, there's always a drop off because maybe people are on holidays, they don't want to come. So like July is our lowest month, August is our lowest month. January and February are huge months, mainly because we do a big sale in January. That's the only sale we do, is January. And something else I wanted to talk to you about, which you mentioned there, like doing one every 3 or 4 months. We just do one a year, and Ksenia's a bit like that. She hates brands and things that are always on sale because she just feels like, well, then they're just devaluing themselves. So we just do one sale a year, which is January, and that leads to a massive spike in sales. Yeah.
So I understand where she's coming from on that one. There's a downside.
We fight about this, by the way. I listen to you, and I listen to a lot of other podcasts where it's like I think we could do at least 2 or 3. Like I don't think we have to be so limited with it. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So I got a friend, and she sells online courses. And I saw her at a conference. This would have been back in, 2018, 2019, something like that. And she was saying basically what Ksenia's saying. She was like, I don't want to put stuff on sale on a regular basis because it devalues the brand, and I just don't want people to feel that way about it. And I don't want people feeling like, oh, some store is on sale, and I'm like a whatever it is, like a DFS or sofa company, whatever. And I was like, yeah, but this is the thing that works. Like in online course businesses, this is how it works. This is what works to increase sales. Like if you look at the amount of what happens, right, for nearly everybody, every course business that I ever look at, there's a spike in sales once, twice, 3 times a year. Like Black Friday, there's a spike in sales. New course comes out as a spike in sales because there's a launch with a special offer goes with it. And the question I always ask is, well, why don't you do the email promotions in the other months of the year? And they say the same thing, because I don't want to be too salesy, I don't want to devalue the brand, etc. And so I was trying to make this argument to my friend, and I wasn't getting anywhere with it. And about 2-3 years later, something like that, I was messaging with her on WhatsApp, and she told me that she had doubled her revenue. And I was like, oh, what did you do? And she said, what I started doing is I started doing an email promotion every month where I would do a discount. And I was just like, what a great idea.
Where did you get that?
Yeah. She obviously had heard it enough times, or somebody else had convinced her better, or she got desperate and tried it, whatever it was, I don't know. Anyway, she did it and it worked. Because that is what works in this kind of business in terms of making sales. And what I think the crucial thing to do is to figure out, okay, well, how can you do that in a way that doesn't feel bad to you? Because what you don't want to do is have a business where you're like, oh, I feel icky all the time. But if you can do this in a way that just feels good, you're like, okay, there is a reason why there's a discount this month. There's a reason why it's different to the discount in previous months. It's not just the same thing again and again and again. It's something slightly different. The reason that it works, particularly in the online course space, there's 6 main reasons. I'm going to see if I can remember them now. 6 main reasons why people buy anything.
Yeah.
And in terms of from a sales point of view. And there was a big study done on this. And this guy wrote a book. What's the name of that book now? He wrote another one called Persuasion. I'm going to have to look this up now. But let's find this. Who wrote Persuasion? But basically, they were that you had reciprocity with the person. The person had done something for you, and then you wanted to do something back for them. They were that you trust the person, that you feel that they have authority. One of urgency or scarcity. Robert Cialdini is the name of the book, and then the original one is influence. I'm going to find the other 2 that I can't think off the top of my head.
I'll take that down.
What's the 6 reasons people buy in? Okay. And so all of those work to a certain. Oh, the other ones are social proof, and then commitment and consistency. So some combination of those is generally there in most sales processes. In online courses, urgency and scarcity is a really big deal. And like I can explain as best as I understand it why, but I think the most important thing is that it is true. Is that you need to have some kind of urgency for people to take action. What we found is there's lots of people kind of putting something off, like, oh, I do want to do this at some point, but why should I take action now? Now, there's a slight difference between urgency and scarcity. Scarcity is there's a limited number of this thing. And urgency is there's a limited time until this thing, while this thing is available. So the urgency part of that is there's a discount, and the discount ends on Friday. The discount isn't the point.
Yes.
The discount is not really the point of why someone is going to buy by Friday. The point is that they are putting this off, that they're not getting around to doing the thing. The discount is an excuse to talk about why they're taking action now. If you were able to do this at a high enough level in terms of like the copywriting or the giving people a reason to take action now that wasn't around the discount, then that can work. But it's much, much, much easier to do it with a discount. From a business point of view, from a marketing point of view, from a persuasion point of view. It just gives an excuse why you're going to be talking about taking action on this thing this week. And so if you want to increase, the biggest thing you guys can do, if you can get Ksenia on board, right? And I am willing to help message with her about this, right? Is if you guys could find a way to basically do an email promotion every month for something, not the membership every time, right?
Yeah.
But for something, whether it's a webinar, whether it's a paid masterclass that's different this month, whether it's a course from inside of the membership, maybe the membership a couple of times a year, whatever, all these different options. And there's lots of ways of doing this. Then you would see your revenue increase dramatically, like quite possibly double from where you're kind of at the moment. Yes. So that's my. I know that it's not even you I'm trying to convince, right? I'm trying to give you the ammo to give to Ksenia, but it's like that would be the thing that would make a massive difference for you guys.
Yeah, I hear that, and we know that to be true, and we know a lot about, and we're the same. I mean, it was curious you mentioned that we talk about that. You know, you say, I don't know why the mattress brands have found themselves in that space and how to separate yourself. Like, I don't know will I ever buy a full price mattress ever for the rest of my life, because mattresses are always on sale. I don't know how that industry got stuck as being always on sale, and maybe that's the wrong comparison, because it's curious, like Ksenia kind of talks about, I want to be the Rolex. Like Rolex is never on sale, you know.
But they do it differently, right? If you're going to do Rolex, you've got to do you've got to go full Rolex.
Yes.
Right? So Rolex have very limited supply. They have a constraint where you feel lucky if you get to buy. There is a wait list for it. It's a whole different marketing strategy. If you're going to do that, you have to be doing all of the bits that go with that. You can't just not go on sale. That's not doing Rolex.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. True. Yeah, you're lucky if you get to buy one, and then you're on the first tier, and then you go up.
Yeah, like I've got a conference that I would run the marketing for. We would run it in London. And it was like 100 people. The limit was the number of seats that were available at the conference. And the conference was great and everyone loved it. And so I ran a system for Hype, which was around scarcity for it, which is there are only 100 tickets. They're going to sell out. You're not going to want to miss out on it. And so the first time I managed to sell them out in 4 weeks, and the next time was in 1 week, and the next time was in 1 day, and the next time was in an hour, and the next time was in 3 minutes. Because every time it was like, oh, you missed out. You can't afford to miss out. You need to be there at the absolute moment it goes on sale, which is it's not the same thing, but it's more similar to the Rolex thing in terms of their scarcity.
Yes.
They've got scarcity rather than urgency. Online courses, you don't have scarcity. If you were doing a masterclass where it's individual attention from Ksenia and you sell that for much more money, then you've got scarcity. There's only 20 spaces. You've got to use what you've got at your disposal, which is like if you want to do some Rolex marketing, you're going to have to go, right, what can we package up that fits with that? It's the high price thing, one-on-one attention. There's only a limited number of spaces. It's going to sell out. You have to get on the wait list first, and then you do that. That could be great. You could also do that, but you just can't do that with the online course part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, as you said, it's more just making it genuine. I like what you said about other systems. I mean, that is the easiest. Today it's 50% off, but what we are trying at the moment, and I think it is leading to some success, I don't know how much, but I think if we do it more, is there is a group starting on this day.
Right.
You have to sign up Friday, so because the group starts on Monday and it closes in 2 weeks, and that's it. If you're not in on Monday, you're not in. You know, you don't need to put anything on sale, but that's only now in this, like as I said, these little €12 choreographies or whatever, that it's like as an entry. By tomorrow, you get on the group, you're going to have a clear task, and at the end of the thing, you're going to have a clear on and off ramp, and then we're hoping that leads to memberships, and and trying to convert those people. If you liked that one, we have more of these.
Yeah, because that's a really strong urgency as well, right? So that's like, it's not an urgency because the discount's going away. It's an urgency because the thing starts on Monday. So there is no other time that you can join it. Maybe next month, but like that's the only time this month that you can join, which is great. Yeah. So how have you seen that? How have you seen that work? Is that I know it's kind of early, you said, but like what's the results so far?
At Christmas it was really successful. I mean, we're again, it's a very niche thing. Like I think our user base is like 500, and our goal, you're talking about double. Our goal was always like 1,000 members, which was like the Kevin Keeley thing or whatever, 1,000 true fans. And we always kind of believed like that's a really nice number. Like if we had that 1,000 users, we'd have a beautiful kind of level of income, and we'd feel great. Like we don't need more than that, and that's a really nice size. So that's always been the goal. And at Christmas, I think like 70 people came on from that path. Like 70 people became members at Christmas. Yeah, from
that's
doing
great.
One of those. So that's a lot. We're doing another one now this month, because of the success of that. But that was paired with our January offer. So it was like we ran that in December for 2 weeks so that people came in, got a taste of the school. And then after those 2 weeks, we were like, okay, now we're doing our 50% off January offer. And a lot of those people then converted into that thing. So that was a nice system for us, was like, come on cheap, get a feeling, this is great content. Ksenia is an amazing teacher. The school has amazing quality. So it's like that part of it we're always very confident and sure about as well. It's like when people come in, they really do enjoy it. Like it's really good content.
What about then? So the people who finish this next cohort, is there going to be an offer for those people for joining
There's
the
not,
membership?
but I think there should be. Like,
Because that way, it's not available as a discount to everybody. It's only available as a discount to the people who are finishing this cohort.
Yes, yeah.
And then you'd get a higher
true.
percentage of those people. As a special bonus for you guys, you're going to get whatever it is. First 3 months at half price, the annual membership at half price, whatever way you want to package it up. And that will give them a reason to take action, but it's not available to everybody. It's only available to this particular group who've proven they're interested right now. I think you'd probably see that do really well.
Yeah, I think that's where we're going to go. And I can't, you'll know his name. You know, the guy who's always in a tank top with a big beard, and he's
Alex Hormozy.
Yeah. What a brand. There you go. You can describe him in a sentence. Brilliant brand, yeah. Tank top. Oh yeah. He had a thing about that as well, like that we're going to try, I think, which is like is giving a discount as a prize, which I really like that concept. Because you have done this, you've completed this, you've won a 50% off annual. You've been, and it doesn't even need to be, again, like everything, like I listen to, again, what you say to people a lot. It doesn't need to feel fake. It doesn't need to feel like cringy. It can be genuine. Like, here is a reward for finishing this thing, like a genuine reward. Like, you can't get this unless you finish this thing. And if you finish this thing, great job. Here's a coupon for 50% off annual. And then it feels very organic. It feels very real in a way,
Did you ever hear the episode I did with Timothy Moser? He teaches Spanish through group coaching programs.
No.
So it's episode 170.
Okay.
And he does something very similar to that, right? So what he does is he gets people into a challenge. And I forget how long the challenge is, if it's 30 days or 14 days or something like that, but it's paid. And that is their front end thing. And at the end of that, I think that at the end they do a webinar and they do the discount. And it's like, you get this discount for our ongoing system, but you have to have finished the challenge. So they're like, they're pushing people to be like, we're going to make this offer for you at the end of this, but only if you do the full challenge, because they know that the people who do the challenge are then more likely to become successful. They go on and do the membership. They know that people who finish, if they get people to finish the challenge, that means they're engaged and then they're more ready to buy. And so they kind of they package the whole thing together. So that sounds kind of similar to what you're doing right now. I think it sounds great.
I think it's a good way. I mean, I think again, this kind of atomic habits thing as well, like this idea that, like, if you get people into a run of I think we all enjoy doing it. I'm the same. I love practicing bass. It makes me so happy. And if I do it every day, I feel great and I want to do it more. But then there's periods I don't do it for 2 weeks because life and whatever. And it's very hard to restart the habit. And I'm kind of a firm believer in that, especially around dance and music and things like that. People want to do this stuff. People love doing this stuff. But getting them to take action, like this little daily habit, is always the challenge, I think, in this field. It's like you will enjoy this, like you will enjoy learning Spanish, but it's hard to start, it's hard to get the daily habit, but once you have it and you're like, I love this, and then at the end of that you're like, okay, do you want to do this for the rest of the year? The answer is a much easier yes than you've never done this, why not do it for a year? I think so. I think that's a path that we want to explore.
Definitely worth a test, because you've run it once and it worked. You're running it again and see if it works again. And if it works again, it's like maybe do that more often.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I had a friend. I've talked about this on the podcast before. I saw her at the conference last summer when I was doing like a review of people's funnels in advance of the conference, and that was kind of like one of the presentations.
Yes.
And she'd said to me how she was doing. She'd heard me talk about webinars, and she tried it, and she'd run a webinar, and it made her $70,000. And it was like, great. And she's like, what should I do now? I was like, do another webinar. And she did that, and this one made her like $130,000. And she's like, now what do I do? I was like, Sarah, do another webinar. Find a way. How can we get it so that you can run a webinar every month? And she messaged me a few months ago. I think she made so much money she didn't need to run them for a while. She's like, I took the winter off again. Wow. Should I run another webinar? And I was like, you should probably do that.
There's a lot behind that, I guess, in terms of her authority, her positioning to get the people into the webinar.
Oh, yeah. She's already built up an email list of like 7,000 people. She sells a high-ticket thing. She's an amazing salesperson. She's got a great webinar. She did one of them with a partner. There's a lot of bits that went into that, but it's working. And when something's working, what you need to do is do more of it. And I struggle with that constantly because I've got this new great idea that is like, it's just going to be much better than all the previous stuff. I'm going to work on this new idea. Luckily, I've got Josip, who is like, John, what if we do more of the thing that's already working? you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, good point, Josip. Let's do that. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
this kind of the curse of being creative. Exactly. It's like you just want to keep making new things and trying them, playing with it. And I mean, we're like that. But I do think this system kind of might be the path forward. And what you're saying about analytics, I mean, it just gives me a revived energy now to go back in and just double check all of the links, double check everything is kind of clean because like many creators over here, you're just doing it on your own time, and sometimes it gets messy. It's very hard to keep things super clean, you know?
For sure. David, this has been awesome. I've really, really enjoyed talking with you. You're doing something fantastic, and I know that your audience really appreciates you. I've really loved hearing kind of your story today on the podcast, and I'm sure that the audience has as well. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, John. It was great.
As always, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.